Hong Kong, one of the most densely populated cities on Earth, known worldwide as a financial centre and for its shopping, pollution and fast pace of life. But in the green heart of Hong Kong, there is a magical place of beauty and tranquility. Kadoorie Farm and Botanic Garden. There's an important event coming up. The Flora team is preparing for the Hong Kong Flower Show, a chance to put on a display for 500,000 people and spread the conservation message. At Kadoorie Farm, young visitors get the chance to form a deeper relationship with nature. And the veterinary team has a queue of patients waiting for treatment. It's all to protect Hong Kong's wild places and its wildlife. For present and future generations. Creating a special place where people seek harmony with the environment. Over the last 60 years, Kadoorie Farm and Botanic Garden has gained a reputation for the conservation of plants. Visitors from all over the world come to enjoy the splendour of the gardens. For sheer mystery, elegance and colour, nothing can quite match the collection of orchids. Taking care of these botanical treasures is one of the Flora team's most experienced veterans, Ah Leung. He's been working at Kadoorie Farm for over 35 years.
我叫阿梁，我喺1981年已經加入咗嚟嘉道理農場。我大概3年至4年前就轉咗過嚟蘭花組呢度，日常嘅照顧蘭花啦，同埋睇下佢哋掹下草同埋施下肥同埋除下草。我好喜歡喺蘭花組嘅工作。
Nurturing these delicate plants takes considerable skill and dedication. Kadoorie Farm's Orchid Haven is just that. A place where rare and threatened species thrive. Surprisingly, most of Hong Kong is green, and more people are now choosing to enjoy the fresh air and peace of the countryside. Here they find a magical place to appreciate the beauty of nature. And visitors might have a surprising encounter. Hong Kong has more than 50 species of native snakes. But to raise awareness of this reptile group, an African ball python rescued from an illegal trader now works as an educator. Visitors have a close encounter. Many are fearful of snakes. But for some, especially the young, to touch a snake is something special and unforgettable. Wild snakes can be deemed a nuisance, and Kadoorie Farm has a unique partnership with the Hong Kong authorities to deal with them. Senior Officer Paul Crow is with the snake handling team, and he's checking a Burmese python, a giant constricting snake that can grow up to 5 meters long.
Not such a big one. He's a little bit angry. Saying she, we'll find out in a minute. Hang on. Probably male. Yeah.
The snake was worrying villagers and was picked up by the police.
What's she getting? Think that. Roll the bag up.
It has an attitude, but each snake, even a lively one, is treated with care.
3.8. 308.
Quite a small skull. So
It probably wasn't a serious threat to anybody. Indeed, humans have most likely encroached upon its home. Wildlife vet Dr. Alex Grioni is responsible for the veterinary care of all animals admitted, including this one. And it turns out it's been here before.
Oh, is a recapture. The snake has already a microchip implanted, which is this number, and from a database we have, we know already when it was captured last time, how big it was, where it was released.
is the bag ready?
Yep.
You all ready? Gloves on up there? Yep. 1, 2, 3, up.
After its health check, it will be released into a protected country park, far away from where it was caught.
1, 2, 3, in.
Last time it was found in a village in Sai Kung. It was probably released somewhere else in Sai Kung Country Park, and now it was found again in the same village.
Each patient is treated sensitively, no matter what species.
Next one.
And each has different needs and different treatments.
Right, so we've just received a young kite from the government.
This young black kite was found dehydrated and exhausted downtown. But now it will be nursed back to full strength and hopefully return to the wild. That's the ultimate goal for all of Kaduri Farm's rescued wildlife. Alex's job is unpredictable. He never knows what patients will show up. In the sack is a feisty, masked palm civet.
Okay,
It's always hectic in the veterinary hospital. On any given day, the team deals with a whole range of animals. Some are more laid back.
very calm bird.
A brown fish owl with a broken wing. They are now rare in South China, due mainly to habitat loss.
Okay.
The veterinary team has the experience, the technology and the skills to deal with the most complex cases.
Everything seems to be as it should.
Every animal gets the best possible care.
Big eyes, massive eyes.
Alex spots a problem.
Oh, this is very serious. So there is an old fracture of radian ulna, but it's probably older than 6 months. The plane of the wing is totally bent, and
The X-ray has revealed something else.
ooh, is that a shotgun pellet?
That's what it looks like to me.
It's not here. It's not here. Because when I take the
Sure.
Although Alex has seen the pellet on the X-ray, he can't actually locate it.
I can't feel any pellet.
Can you fly with those? Who would?
It's an old injury. Hasn't died. It's an old injury.
Isn't starving, right?
I think we're done here.
Alex
not
feels
common
it would be
species, so-
safer to leave it where it is rather than remove it.
Would be able to keep this bird.
As the owl comes out of anaesthetic, the nurse checks for vital signs.
History.
It will have a second chance and will probably be released back into the wild. But what of the masked palm civet? The civet was rescued from an urban park where her natural fruit diet was probably supplemented with discarded food. After weeks of rehabilitation, she's ready to go to the halfway house before full release into the forest.
Once we release her into here, we don't want to disturb anymore today. She's on her own up here now. She's never been surrounded by trees, forest. This is her first chance to start to smell real wild. And by tonight, she'll probably encounter some real wildlife. We'll come and visit. food's getting scattered, so she has to spend a little bit of time hunting for it the same way she would once she's out here. Really, all we need now is to add the animal. Oops.
Once she has settled and acclimatized to her surroundings, the door will be opened and she'll be free to roam. And the team will keep an eye on her for a while. Other animals have to be released in more remote locations, far away from any human habitation. Paul and Yorkie have found a suitable undisturbed part of the forest. It's the ideal place to release the Burmese python. The snake's new home has plenty of space and no people, so hopefully it won't return for a third time. With the Hong Kong Flower Show fast approaching, the orchid team has to make some choices. It's important to choose the plants that will be at their best on the days of the show, and it's not easy. This is such a prestigious event, attracting hundreds of thousands of visitors from all over the world. They have to get it right. Dr. Stefan Gale and Kelvin Young must decide which blooms to exhibit.
The Hong Kong Flower Show is an annual event, and it's really a chance to showcase the beauty of plants. But as a conservation organisation, KFBG is always interested to put across a strong conservation educational message. So we use the opportunity to inform people about various problems such as the illegal orchid trade. And we would like to try and help people understand how to distinguish between what is a wild collected orchid versus a sustainably propagated orchid, which comes from a nursery and of course has very little impact on wild populations. So for example, the slipper orchid is an icon for conservation in the South China region. This is a wild species which we cultivate here at KFBG. And what we'd like to try and put across to the public is that when they buy these plants to grow at home, they have a choice. Either they can buy something that's come directly from the wild, or an artificially propagated hybrid, such as this, which comes from a nursery which produces these plants in their thousands. So when people exercise their choice as a consumer, we of course would like people to focus on these plants and leave the wild plants in the wild where they belong.
The illegal trade in orchids puts an enormous pressure on wild populations. And in Hong Kong and mainland China, there's an unsustainable demand for wild collected plants. Kowduri Farm actively monitors the market to see what's being traded. The largest Hong Kong flower market is in Mong Kok.
Quite often when we go to the market here in Hong Kong, as part of our investigation, we look at the different stalls and shops. We often see orchids which are clearly from the wild.
But I think
It's regrowth since they've been collected. And these are not necessarily plants that have been collected in the wild in Hong Kong, but from other areas, perhaps in South China or neighbouring countries. So very often this is not only a biological problem in terms of the depletion of wild species, but a legal issue where shops and traders are flaunting the international ban on trade in certain orchid species. These probably as well. It's obviously from
The authorities will be informed and they'll investigate. But ultimately, this illegal trade can only be stopped through education.
it's certainly illegal.
And the flower show is an ideal opportunity to get the message across to the flower buying public. Changing hearts and minds is vital. And KFBG's gardens and forests are filled with hidden away places where visitors can engage all their senses. For KFBG's Executive Director Andy Brown, this is his favourite spot.
This place is the heart of the farm. It's a very, very peaceful, lovely sitting place for me. And so I will often walk up here and sit beside this pool, watching the ripples, listening to the waterfall. And somehow the water brings peace and calm. This place, of course, is here for the people of Hong Kong who often live very stressful, busy lives. This can be a place to reconnect to nature and think about what's important and come away feeling more calm and more in harmony.
Two young visitors are just about to experience that calm. Lila and Alex have joined a course at Kaduri Farm that helps them deepen their love for nature, not with the head, but with their hearts. Here they feel and absorb the energy emanating from living things, the pulse of life coursing through every plant and animal on Earth.
當小朋友嚟到呢個地方，佢能夠享受睇到花草樹木，佢聽到流水嘅聲音或者雀仔叫，其實對於佢哋嚟講咧，呢個係一個能夠揾到一個佢自己平靜嘅機會。佢能夠喺裏邊揾到自己，佢能夠安靜，可以能夠同個大自然能夠更加嘅連結。
To let go and feel at one with the natural world isn't always easy, especially for city dwellers.
我好緊張，唔知會發生咩事，好驚污糟，好驚昆蟲。
Yet, just by being quiet and still, Lila and Alex have lost their fears and inhibitions and become aware of the simple beauty around them. And when they're invited to draw and paint, art becomes a bridge to appreciating nature.
我今日覺得好開心，最難忘係畫花，因為畫嘅時候覺得好平靜。
When children's hearts are open to a love of the natural world, there is hope.
This 呢個係今日我哋希望下一代佢能夠不單止能夠享受見到咁靚嘅大自然，佢亦都能夠重新去同個大自然能夠有一個好嘅關係。
Education is key to protecting the future health of our planet. Sadly, many wildlife species and wild places are under threat right South China once had vast subtropical forests, but today only fragments remain. They're home to Hong Kong's rarest orchids. Only here do they still survive in the wild. A growing population and urban sprawl are pushing into these wilderness areas. So, working under government license, the Flora Conservation Team regularly monitors these secret places. The beauty of the Hong Kong lady's slipper orchid has been its downfall. Although protected, it's still collected illegally.
Despite many decades now of efforts to protect and restore natural areas in Hong Kong, plants such as this slipper orchid are still very rare. It's of interest to us because we would like to learn more about its natural history and ecology so that we can do all we can to ensure that it survives. So as you can see, we've tagged the individual here with a metal tag so that every time we come back we can record various aspects about the plant, its size and whether it's flowering or fruiting. And we may collect a pollinated seed capsule once the flowers have finished, and we can then take that seed capsule back to KFBG and propagate new young plants in the lab.
A single orchid pod can yield thousands of tiny seeds. But in the wild, only a small fraction will take root and grow. They depend on a chance encounter with a particular type of fungus to trigger germination. But in the controlled conditions in the lab, KFBG's botanists can give nature a helping hand. Here, the key ingredients are brought together.
呢個 lab 咧，佢主要嘅係用嚟做平苗嘅栽培嘅。咁有啲係比較瀕危嘅品種咧，咁我哋都會用呢個方法咧去到繁殖嘅，咁樣就希望咧就可以將呢個嗰個瀕危嘅品種咧就一直保存落嚟咁樣。
Back at the veterinary hospital, there are more immediate concerns for a very special patient, a black-faced spoonbill. Alex has to check a fracture. This requires an X-ray, so he's improvised with a plastic water bottle to administer the anaesthetic.
This bird had a fracture of wing, and last week we did a surgery and we put some pins, some metal in the wing just to keep it stable. The pins may stay in for 3 to 4 weeks, and then eventually we can remove them and assess the functionality of the wing.
There are only 2,500 of these spoonbills left in the wild, so with such a precious bird in his care, Alex uses all his skills to try and save it.
Means the recheck from today. The bone actually has refractured again. There is another fragment out. So there was an unpredictable turn of events. The ulna was fracturing 2 sides, and now another part of the bone has come off. Adding more metal in a wing, it makes the wing much, much heavier.
This is bad news. The X-ray has revealed another fracture to the wing, already damaged.
We try not to damage too many feathers, but sometimes it's unavoidable.
What slim chance the bird had of being released has gone. Now the hope is that it can survive and join other wetland birds as an educational ambassador.
By the time you're over, probably is.
Yeah, just wander slowly.
Sadly, this was not to be. A few days later, the spoonbill died. Although upsetting for the team, the steady stream of patients means that life in the department must go on. And for every disappointment, there are moments of sheer joy. Found exhausted and unable to fly, this black kite has been nurtured back to health.
What we want her to do is to see where she's going, so if you can sort of...
And it's ready to take to the skies once more.
Just keep her comfortable. So if you start moving her now,
these releases are precious moments for the rescue team. And for volunteer Ho Tin, it's a moment she'll never forget.
yeah, there she is.
In the greenhouses, the final preparations are being made for the flower show. Ah Leung takes huge pride in preparing the plants. The timing is perfect. The orchids are at their very best. Organizations from Hong Kong and Southeast Asia are exhibiting. And it's nothing short of spectacular, a kaleidoscope of colour. And people love it. At Kaduri Farm's exhibit, amazing plants have been brought to the heart of the city, and with them the message of protecting orchids in the wild. After the show, all the plants will be returned to Kaduri Farm and replanted in the forest or in the orchid haven, and the display materials will be used again next year. The team share their conservation messages.
One of the key reasons why we have this display here is to really try and make as many people understand the difference between wild collected plants versus sustainably propagated plants, so that when they go to the markets to buy plants to grow at home, they can specifically choose those that they know have come from sustainable sources, and they can leave the wild plants untouched in nature. This year we were very lucky and we won the gold prize for outstanding exhibit, which is very nice. It's not our aim in putting our display on at the flower show. It's great for the team. I'm happy for the team because they've put in a lot of hard work to get this ready over the last 10 days.
其實我覺得咧，如果即係攞唔攞獎，其實都係其次嘅。咁攞獎固然係開心啊，係好事啦。咁即係都係證明咗我哋係做得好嘅。
Small steps on a road to a more harmonious future. Small acts of compassion and care. And a huge commitment to wildlife and wild places. Steps on the road to a world in which people live sustainably, with respect for each other and nature.